Hi, it's Andy Jackson here, welcoming both old and hundreds of new listeners and watchers to episode 8 of the Bring Back the 80s podcast, which this week features a look back at a couple of our most popular episodes since we started in the summer of last year, when we talked about toys and music of the 80s. Just to let you know as well, the winner of the Mystery Sound competition will be revealed next week, when we'll be back with a fresh new episode. In the meantime, don't forget you can find all our previous episodes on bringbacktheeighties-podcast.com. And we just take a little commercial break actually here.
Oh, okay.
It is a Saturday morning.
Go on then.
Mousetrap and Rebound. 2 games of cunning from Ideal. Build the craziest mousetrap that was ever made to catch a mouse. Kick the bucket down the chute, turn the handle, take a dive, and... Now Rebound. And the pressure's building up. Great shot next door. Home team with one more go. Aim. Shoot. Through the 2 blues and he's done it. Oh, now I'll have to ask him round again. Mousetrap and Rebound. They're both Ideal.
Now, is it funny that we all remember Mousetrap?
Yeah.
Has anybody got any clue at all what Rebound? But
I don't know.
What was Rebound all about?
It sounded like a football-based thing, but that bloke, where did they get him to do the voiceover? It doesn't sound 80s.
Do you know that was John Pertwee?
Was it?
Who? Because one thing that I could do is voices, and I'm pretty sure that was John Pertwee.
Wow.
And was he Doctor Who at the time?
Oh, maybe that's right. Yes, maybe.
He might well have been, because he was, he was the friendly doctor.
I was just come out of being a doctor. Maybe that's why he was available for voiceover. It's just scratching around to advertise a board game we never bloody heard of called Rebound.
I'll be all.
Hi, available for voiceovers. A Mousetrap. I remember enjoying building it and wanting the cage to fall down. I don't remember how you play the game, and I don't really remember enjoying playing it. I just wanted that cage to fall down on the mouse.
This is the thing. I don't think anybody ever actually played these assembled ball games, because we all had a Mousetrap, and you would spend probably half a day putting it together. This thing they had teeny tiny little bits,
yes,
didn't they?
Yeah.
It was all very complicated the way you had to put it together.
Yeah.
But as to the actual gameplay, if there was such a thing, you're right. We just wanted to see the cage come down.
Yeah, and like Operation, where there was all those little bits that you had to put into the body of the man to get them out, and somebody always lost one of the bits. You lost the frog that went in the gut or whatever it was. I can't remember. It was a frog, I think, or Buckaroo, and you had all those things on the donkey or whatever it was, an ass. And don't put lots of tools on my ass. Yes, but you lose a few of the spades and a few of the buckets, and always lots of little bits. That seemed to be the thing. Lots of little bits to really get you going.
You're right.
Swallow.
And if you think about and swallow and choke to death on with the Operation game as well, rather than me try to describe it, let's just go back to that Saturday morning TV advert.
Okay.
It's my turn to operate. Operate?
You've missed enough, Butterfingers!
It's Operation, the mad doctor's game.
Take out his spare ribs for £100.
Oh, you'll never do that!
Don't touch your sides. Here goes his funny bone.
You need a very steady hand.
I did it! That's £200 for me.
Can I have a go?
Operation, the mad doctor's game from MB Games.
The mum obviously was horrified when she thought the kids were doing a real operation.
Oh, okay.
Then she walked in, she found Oliver Twist. All right, Mark.
All blimey, governor.
What's Oliver Twist doing there?
I'll come and help you operate. That all compares, mate. Hey.
But the mum came round to the thing. But if you think back to what Operation was, although you were taking out the funny bone, although you were taking out, whatever little bit, the whole thing literally was you were just doing the same thing over and over again. It was just putting the little tweezers in, trying to pull something out without the buzzer going off. That was the game.
But they were in that advert, they mentioned money. But what's that about? I don't remember any money being involved.
Again, it's one of these things where there was probably rules and there was probably a way to do it. All we wanted to do was make the buzzer go.
Yeah, and
that's all it was.
And it was magical because, I like we were saying, it was no longer analog. It had moved into the time where we had electronics involved. I mean, behind you, you've got like a speak and spell. We've got lots of things around us, little handheld games and stuff, where batteries and electronics were introduced during the 80s into games. And I think that was probably one of the early days, very early 80s Operation game, maybe even before that, actually, where electronics and a light up red nose. Bloody amazing.
Whoa. There was one advert that I was going to bring, but it was just literally you needed to see it, so I didn't bother this time around. But it was glasses with a light on them, and you had a button in your hand so you could make your glasses, like sunglasses, light up, and that was the thing.
Oh, great!
So that was it. So
$24.95.
Didn't take off, and of course all these things needed batteries, and in those days, always little tiny bit of small print at the bottom, batteries not included.
Of course,
Every
like the
single
classics
time.
film. Yes, yeah, great. Yeah, so I just remember most of my memories are board games. I think we've got obviously and things like this. We've got the Paul Daniels Magic Set. I mean, in here there must be so many chokeable items.
100%.
All these little tiny things, and that was before, of course, pen lids had holes put in. Because some bloody idiot had to have the Heimlich maneuver halfway through maths because he was bored and chewing on the end of his pen.
Pen lid, obviously, and then just slips down. And
you just don't hear from Neil ever again. Yes, but then after that, of course, they still swallowed the lids because they're bloody idiots. But you could hear that they were choking because there was a whistling sound coming from the back of the classroom.
Maybe that's where they got the idea for the whistling pops. A choking child inspired a big toy corporation.
Oh God, yeah. So lots of choking things, and that was around the time where they started saying not to put carrier bags over your head. They started printing that on carrier bags. Please don't put this on your head. And it was game over then when it health and safety gone.
Just went crazy. The size of this box has inspired me. I think I did.
Paul Daniels was only small, remember?
He was tiny, wasn't he? Was he with the lovely Debbie McGee?
He was. I think probably was. He looks happy, doesn't he?
See, I would have put the lovely Debbie McGee on the box as well, but
she's inside.
She must be inside, yeah. But obviously you got all these little choky bits, but the size of the box has reminded me that there was a similar size box that I remember being given either for Christmas or for my birthday, and it was a chemistry set. It was like a homemade chemistry set.
Yeah.
And I'm just remembering the things that were in this chemistry set now.
Hydrochloric acid?
There was acid in there. There was a little Bunsen burner that you would fill with methylated spirits and set fire to. And these kids, if my childhood was relatively normal, I would be, who knows, I would be quite happily sort of playing up in their bedroom with fire and acid and all kinds of stuff like that. Why the house never burnt down, I don't know. But can you imagine giving kids, a lighter and methylated spirits and say, off you go with that?
Have a go with that. I mean, that wasn't sold near where I live. That would have been out in Ridley Park and just give him some acid and Bunsen burner. What's the worst that could happen? Oh dear, the block of housing's gone. But yes, no. So you were playing with acid and Bunsen burners and chemicals when you were a kid. Well, that explains a lot, Andy. But here we are today. So, and you've managed to pull through okay.
Still got my eyebrows and everything, so it couldn't have been all bad.
Were you one of the kids that used to turn his eyelids inside out?
No, but I don't remember.
Do you remember the kid in class who always did that?
There was a kid in my class, one of the schools I went to, who had a glass eye, and his trick was taking his glass eye out.
Oh, that's not nice.
No, it wasn't.
Is that in Paul Daniels' box of tricks? Here we go. Remove your eye. Don't swallow it. Okay.
And this was how starved of entertainment we were, where it was, you would practice turning your eye.
Oh, no.
And it was horrible. It was horrible.
Well, you turn to your friend next to you halfway through the lesson and go, and they go, what's up, Alderson? He said, sir, he's turning his eyelids. Shut up, Alderson. Yeah, but he's doing it detention. Oh, Christ, again. Oh, it's horrible. Those sorts of things. Eyelids inside out and scratching your name with a compass in your desk. They were the most entertaining things that happened during a lesson, really. Unless you had a Bunsen burner or a chemistry set.
Chemistry lessons were always good. I particularly always got excited. Did you do like practical science stuff where you would have to put stuff in there? There was like a smoke thing where all the really dangerous chemicals would go behind a glass screen and they would pull the screen down and then it would take all the noxious fumes away.
I wasn't allowed in those lessons.
The other thing that I remember as well, and maybe it was only at the school I went to, but when we did science, they had the gas Bunsen burners.
Right, yes, yeah.
So remember the gas Bunsen burners? And they were taps on the desk.
Of course.
And we always used to think what fun it would be just to leave the taps open.
People did, yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Why did the schools never blow up? Because we're literally just leaving gas running.
Especially with the flicking the switch in the 80s with the spark that always used to come from the back of the switch. You'd think that Mr. Jenkins would walk in and go, bye-bye physics block or biology or chemistry. Yeah, that's a good point. You'd walk in and the teacher would be like, right, everybody back out for a minute. Sorry, open the windows, the big sash windows on the side of the lab. You're all stood there in your lab coats like idiots. But yeah. So I mean, that was they had the chemistry sets. They had electric wiring sets as well. I don't know if you ever got them. It was just me and my mum, so that she never gave me things like that. And because I wasn't really that good with my hands, I mean, obviously now I'm brilliant, ladies. But I can't wire a plug, but I can find my way around a dark room.
Sometimes there's even someone else in there, eh, James?
There is. Where's that laptop?
This is Bring Back the 80s with your hosts, James Alderson and me, Andy Jackson. Welcome to another edition of Bring Back the 80s.
Yep.
George Michael
Was Careless Whisper. Hey, so we've all done it. Yes, and as I say, I remember that coming on, straight after S Express or whatever it might have been, Brother Beyond, and then you would have gone, Brother Beyond, and then you'd go, oh, where is she? I eyed her up earlier and she didn't growl or look angry, so I'm going to go wear her down. And that was lovely when you knew as soon as that saxophone kicked in, game on.
It was just 50-50 whether you were going to be there or not.
Was that what the odds was? I wish it was 50-50.
Maybe that's me and my wishful thinking.
No, you obviously had a different return rate to me.
I was that guy. I'm going to be hating for saying this, but I always went for quantity rather than quality.
Oh, okay.
Is that a bad thing?
No, I don't know. Any quantity would be good
today. But anyway, so that was last week. That was the fact that we're on it was a record as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of tied in with this week's theme, which is going down Woolworths.
Yeah, why not?
Checking out the top 40.
It was just such a big thing. The top 40. I mean, I don't think. Do they even do it now? I don't know. I'm sorry, I touched, but it was you tuned in. You listened to Radio 1, waited on a Sunday. Was it a Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah,
on top 40.
Yeah.
You held your fingers over the play and record, ready to hit it on your whatever it was, record it. And if you're like me, try and miss the DJ voice so you could sell it to your mates on Monday morning at school.
Bit that we, as DJs, hate.
Do you?
Absolutely.
Oh. Sorry, Andy.
I think you tune in for us, but it's just a sad...
I just turn the volume down when the bloke's talking, turn it up when he's just about to stop talking. And it was just great. I think between Thursday night, Top of the Pops, and Sunday night, the top 40, and then that Saturday window to go to Woolies or wherever it might be, our price or whatever, that was like most of your week captivated in music. And I was one of those who loved the music. I loved the tune, loved the melody, the harmony, whatever it was, the bass line. And my wife loves all the lyrics. So she's do you know people like this? You get a song and they just sat next to you in the car, barreling out all the words. You just please, I'm trying to listen to this tune. Listen to that bass line. And she's like, oh, shut up. But anyway, it's something's triggered me there. But yes, so she, and actually in most of these, whoops, hello, leaflet just dropped there. It tried to come towards me there as I went to grab it. And you'd open up those cassettes, all the record sleeves, and they'd have all the lyrics in. I mean, that was like you'd won the lottery, wasn't it?
There's a lot of guessing going on as well, wasn't there, at the time? If you had one where it wasn't there, there would be, I mean, there was no online.
No.
But people would literally be scribbling down in notebooks what the lyrics were and then comparing it the next day to see if their friends thought it was the same.
Yeah, for about a month, I thought it was Papa Don't Breach.
A fly landed on your head.
I'm keeping it there, if that's all right, because he likes to stay with me. It's a pet, and but he's free to roam. He comes and goes, but he knows what I smell like. So, but yeah, for about a month, I thought it was Papa Don't Breach. I thought he was like a midwife on the side or something trying to fix it. I remember saying it to my auntie, Papa Don't Breach, and she said, "What are you singing there? It's Breach." I was like, "No, it's Breach. What are you talking about?" So yeah, you're right, guessing the lyrics, but if you found a cassette or the sleeve with all the lyrics in, you felt like you were the legend of that track, singing along to it, playing it through. Great. Magic.
It's a good thing as well, where like the lyrics were, this seems unimaginable now, but like to actually print the lyrics, somebody would say, "Oh, we're going to have you for copyright. Those are our lyrics." And now, of course, everybody's just making, YouTube little skits and stuff with the lyrics. But it was it's such different times. Not only did you have to some of the time guess the lyrics, write them down, do that, or wait till you actually bought the thing and looked in there. Music was so inaccessible compared to what we got now with Spotify, Amazon Music. You just turn on whatever you want in the world that you've ever heard ever. You can just Shazam it and think, okay, I want that. Then you had to save up and you would have to go down Woolworths after you'd heard it on Top of the Pops, and that would be your thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you start looking. I mean, now kids they find a track they like, and it tells them what else they're gonna like. You're going to like this, am I? Yes, you are. Watch it. And we were like, well, I've bought this one single, and you were just in the middle of a wasteland then. You didn't know who else you might like until you heard it on Top of the Pops or on Radio 1 or walking through Woolies. They might be playing it in the record department. Do you remember that when you go into the record department, you look down the charts, you go and search for it in the racking, then you had to go to the record desk, the separate desk where you had to show them the sleeve or the cassette, and they go through the back and they'd bring it back out. Carnage, and kids wouldn't put up with that now, having to go somewhere, then go somewhere else, and then go anyway.
There were record shops as well where you would have listening booths, wouldn't you? And you would go in, and this just again seems so bizarre. If there was a new album out or something, but you weren't quite sure, because obviously you weren't able to sample it online, but you knew that there was a new, whatever album out, Brother Beyond or or whatever, you would have to go into the shop. You would say, "Please, can I have a listen to this?" And they would give you the record to play, and you put headphones on and a little listening booth. Not that I was particularly into Wham, that was just an example.
No, Brother Beyond
came out. But yeah, that would be how you discover new music, by listening in a booth in a hot and sweaty record shop on a Saturday afternoon.
I think it came out of London late 80s, that, because it might have been an early thing in the Big Smoke, but in Portsmouth,
take a while to reach.
Late 80s. I mean, they were heavy booths, weren't they? So they had to lift them onto a truck and get them down there. And I remember the first ones in HMV, but they were like towers then, so you had to take off the headsets, and they never bloody worked, did they? The sensor had to know that you lifted it up, and then you were listening to something on there. And but yeah, kids listen. The thing I find is quite a nice coincidence is kids listen to all the music on their phones now, and I remember listening to music on our phone. But you'd have to dial out. If you said to kids, we had to phone a number, and you get about 9 seconds of the top 5 or whatever it was. I think there were all sorts of knockoffs, but you'd see it in an advert in the rear of the newspaper or something, and it would be like, dial this number and hear the cricket scores or something, or the time. Such a complicated thing. What time is it? Well, phone up. And I actually remember doing that as a kid. Because you didn't have a watch on, and there was no clocks about, or clock towers. So like we're in medieval times, and you dial up and hear the time and go, "Oh shit, I'm late."
That was the time that I nearly got arrested. In fact,
another time.
I think I was arrested, but I think I was de-arrested afterwards, because I was going to school in London. And I didn't know what the time was, so I was in the middle of London. And I thought the best way to find out what the time is would be to look in every car windows see if I could see the clock on the dash. However, the detectives who were staking out all the cars did not believe that was what I was going to do.
No, because you were sat in the Cortina at the time. It was like, just had to get a closer look at the clock.
We didn't have watches.
No.
Well, we had no way of knowing what was going on.
Weirdly, I did have a Swatch watch, but it was massive and hanging on my bedroom wall. Do you remember that? Massive, just hanging there. I was like, I mean, how fat am I really going to get? And if I'd known, I could have kept that, and I'd probably fit into it now. Obviously, this Fisher-Price record player was the first records I remember, late 70s, early 80s. I don't know what tunes they play. Probably not Kylie. Is it? Is it? Oh, okay. It might be top 10 of the time, but I love that. Everybody remembers it. Full set of records there, so feel free to borrow that later. And I'll show you this, because if you couldn't afford to go down to Woolies and look at the charts and buy something, you might any time now have a chance of getting a record on the front of your cereal box. Do you remember when you used to actually win stuff in cereal boxes inside it? I mean, these were stuck to the outside, and no one nicked them. And these are crack. I don't know what this is, but mega hits of the 80s or whatever. And Tony the Tiger on it, and it would be stuck to the front, and they didn't nick them off it. My mate nearly choked to death on a Papa Smurf that he swallowed in Bugs and Frosties. But they actually put the toy in amongst the cereal. You tip it into your bowl and it would fall in the cereal.
That was all you were after, to be honest, wasn't it? This is Hickory Dickory Dock, by the way.
Is it? That was about number 3 in 1981, I think, that one. Let me see if I can find this leaflet, because there's a classic leaflet down here. No, it's down your side. You're right down on the floor. You're a bit more lithe than me. Oh, hello. You're right.
Bear with me.
Seamless. See, that's got the reason I don't want to lose that is it's music videos and it's got a £1 off on the back. And it is valid until January 1988. So we got to
every little help.
When we get that DeLorean, we'll sort that. But that was the next thing that I remember.
Be a lot of money as well.
£1. I mean, you could probably get. Well, let's see what have I got in here. Mind you, it's quite pricey. Some of these are videos. You see, you got to remember it's videos, and they were quite pricey, $9.99 here. But being able to see the music videos, take them home and play them. We got Status Quo there from Hypermarket. We got Wham the video. And this is all the time with MTV, wasn't it? So if you were watching the people in the videos playing the music and singing along, it was like, wow, God, let's play this from start to finish. How long is this video? I bet you it goes on forever. No, 21 minutes, 10 quid. What a rip-off. 21-minute music video of Wham for $9.99.
And having the Michael Jackson one, the one that he did with the Thriller as well. I think that was 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It went on forever and ever and ever.
He liked a long one. Yep. Record music. He liked lots of that sort of stuff. But yeah, when they brought out the music videos, that was a new chart, and I remember it just stacking out the sides, and you just go on a hunt. There's nothing worse than you'd get the sleeve out, or you get the cassette, and you'd take it to the desk, and they say, "No, sorry, we haven't got any of those." Just for Christ's sake. That's why
you go to the video shop, isn't it? You wanted that particular video that was out.
Yeah.
And the chances are that unless you got in there first thing as soon as it opened, no chance.
No chance, especially in Blockbuster. They were rubbish. Wonder why they went bust. But yeah, it's best time. And I used to just love going down to the high street Saturday mornings, because Saturday was a shopping adventure, wasn't it? So you'd go down Saturday mornings.
The adventure is maybe too much of a grand word.
There wasn't much else on, was there? But you watched it Saturday, right, okay, let's clarify. Thursday nights, you had your 6 o'clock news, wasn't it? You had your 7 o'clock Top of the Pops, 7:30 EastEnders, 8 o'clock was Tomorrow's World, and then 8:30. No, I'm not a sad case, Andy. 8:30, you either probably had Question of Sport or Wish You Were Here.
And then after 9 o'clock, it was the Watershed, and anything would go.
It was my bedtime.
Yeah.
And remember, I was only 9 in the 80s. And but yes, we can watch the end of Tomorrow's World, and that's it. Look, it's going to be Flying Cars by 1993. Lying Cow. Maggie Philbin again. Yeah, so it was a cracking. Thursday nights was a brilliant night for TV. And then Friday night, obviously, was party night. I don't know what you had, Cagney and Lacey's, Hell Block 8, all that stuff. And then Saturday morning, bang, off you went, down Woolies. You'd have your 11s, probably, because you were there with your nan. Not you. And then...
I thought him feeding my own children by then.
Taking your own kids down the shops. And then, you know, maybe get fish and chips on the way home. But just looking forward to opening up the lid on your mum's old sideboard. Do you remember when they had records were part on the sideboard? And then putting that record down. Turn that rubbish off. Sorry. Or if you were really lucky, you'd have a Memorex cassette player or a Walkman and pop it in there and just try not to get the ribbon ripped out of it as you were playing it. That sound, I mean, that sums up technology in the 80s. Close your cassette player and play through.
That is a very good point to stop for this week's new mystery sound.
Oh, Christ, okay.
While we're on the subject of technology.
Easy for you to say. Cut back on the whiskies before broadcast, please.
I think we should do not only do a naked edition, we should do a pissed and naked edition.
Well, you could be sober for one of them. That'll be a brilliant change.
So this is this week's mystery sound.
Yeah.
If you know what this is, let us know in the comments. You can leave us a voice note, all the usual way. If you want to find the best ways to contact us, bringbackthe80spodcast.com. There is links to all our socials, the Instagram, the TikTok.
Relentless.
We're blowing up on YouTube as well.
Are we? I'm inflating, I think, is the people looking at it going,
this is the sound. Here it comes.
Go on.
Is that
a turkey?
During memories, yeah.
I think that's a turkey. But it's, yes, it is. It is triggering. It is, and quite frustrating just hearing that. Look, thinking back now, thinking about how we just panicking when you remember my mobile is as I'm thinking about it all.
Don't be giving it away, would you?
No, I'm not going to give it away. Why would I give it away? It's nothing to do with it. And it's fax machine. No, I just, just part of the patience that you had to have. You know, do you remember you'd play your tape in your tape player, And you'd realise you were about 2 songs in, realising that it actually wasn't the side you wanted. So you have to take it out, turn it round, put it in, rewind, start playing again. And then, it's suddenly every track sounds like Barry White because the batteries are going. You've got to go and find more double A's. You've got to go back. You put the cassette back in the wrong way. You've got to rewind it again. Then the bloody batteries are again. You just... It's like, and know what? Kids have no patience now, but we had to have patience with every single bit of technology we ever used.
It was all very, very special. Have you noticed the evolution of headphones as well, or earphones?
Yeah.
Because when phones, when mobile phones came out, it was like little earbuds and things like that.
Yeah.
Now it's all about the big headphones.
Yeah.
The big headphones were a thing back in the 80s. It was a big headphone era.
I think it's since we've been doing this podcast,
Maybe
kids have seen it, they're watching us and thinking, we want to be cool like them. I'm quite pleased with it, actually, because it pisses me off when you're trying to talk to a kid, because I get talked to lots of kids, and for all the right reasons, and not to be 80s in that theme. He's on the telly, he loves the 80s. Where is he? He's in the playground. No, so he's... But when they've got those little ones in, especially with my boys who've got long hair, I'm talking to them full sentences.
Do not know.
They're not answering me. They're just turning. Well, maybe they haven't got anything playing and they're just not answering me. But it's a great excuse, isn't it? I've got my headphones in. But we had those orange ones. Do you remember the orange spongy headphones? They were the basic ones, weren't they? They came with most of these things. Loved those. They are classics. And now they do Bluetooth versions. I mean, the world's gone mad.
It'll be built into our bodies before we know it.
No,
it's got to be.
There's no room in mine.
It's got to be the next thing.
Yeah.
So Woolworths, we were saying you would go down there for your top 40. Obviously, Woolworths at Christmas as well. Remember the TV adverts that they used to do for that? They went off
Spectaculars.
Hours with every single British celebrity in it that you've ever heard of.
The Crankies.
Literally all the the A-listers.
Yeah.
But they would book 2 or 3 minute TV ads. So when we do when we sort of get a little bit closer to Christmas, we dig out some of those Woolworths ads.
Yeah, I've got a couple of adverts behind me. I can't turn. There's the blank tapes at Christmas that Woolies promoted. They took out an advert in the magazine to sell blank tapes. I mean, I'll be honest, if you didn't get a pack of blank tapes in your stocking at Christmas, you felt robbed, didn't you? Just the perfect stocking filler because it took up half of it.
What I wanted to know was that what was everybody doing with these blank tapes? Because at the same time as those adverts were there, next to those adverts for blank tapes, there was Home Taping is Killing Music.
Yes.
Adverts from the Performing Rights Society saying don't take music. So what everybody was doing with all these blank cassettes that they were selling,
no,
God only knows.
Well, they were filling stockings. But I used to record radio and avoiding the DJ voice, basically.
As everybody does.
Do you want to look in my special lunchbox?
All right. James's special surprise.
Well, it's because we're on music, because we're talking about music and all those exciting things. No, I keep wanting to open it. You open it. All right. So I do. Oh, well, I don't know. I've forgotten since. But it's been an hour or two. I thought we'd keep it on a music trend. And I'm wondering if you remember these. There's one for me and one for you, so don't be selfish and take it home. But it's a little sweetie whistle. Do you remember them?
I do remember these. These are the bane of every parent's life.
I think they weren't. I don't think they were Chupa Chups. And something in my memory makes me think they didn't even have wrappers on. But I may be deluded.
A different world, but
they're a different colour now. They were red. They were definitely red, but maybe they're not allowed to use as much colouring.
Are these going to work?
I think they will. Yes. Oh God. Can you use yours busted?
I think mine's broken.
Well, mine's extending perfectly.
Story of your life, James.
Thanks for listening to this week's edition. We'd love it if you could subscribe in your favourite podcast app. And don't forget, there's a video version on YouTube too. You can contact us using the links in the show notes and on the YouTube channel. And we'll see you next time for another edition of Bring Back the 80s.